Today, we have the story of Ristarte, a novice goddess of healing tasked with summoning a hero to save the world of Gaia-Brande. She picks Sia Ryuguin, a Japanese hero who has unusually high stats, and immediately summons him. While he appears to be ideal for the situation, she soon realizes that she forgot to check what Sia's personality trait was before picking him up, which states that he is impossibly cautious. After seeking advice from fellow goddess Aria, Ristarte decides to leave Sia alone to train. A week later, he manages to reach level 15 only by doing basic exercises. When they finally travel to Gaia-Brande, Sia tries to buy multiple sets of armor and other items, but Ristarte stops him from going overboard. Outside of town, they encounter a basic slime, which Sia defeats easily, though he goes overboard, burning the entire area with explosions. Just then, they're approached by Chaos Machina, a level 66 demon who was one of the 4 heavenly kings. She reveals that she was sent out to scout the area to kill Sia before he could pose a threat. The hero runs and Ristarte transport them back to Divine Realm. Sia learns that time moves differently in the Divine Realm. 2 days later, Ristarte receives a message from Chaos Machina demanding that they return or she'll execute one resident every 10 minutes. Sia is unconcerned as 10 minutes on, Gaia-Brande is roughly 16 hours in the Divine Realm. When he is finally ready, Ristarte is shocked to learn that he has reached level 21. They return to the town. Chaos Machina realizes all his stats are higher than hers, so she transforms into her true form. When Sia survives her attack, it's revealed that he's been using the fake-out skill the whole time to hide his true level, which is level 37. Sia then destroys Chaos Machina, which earns him and Ristarte the town's admiration. However, concerned that Chaos Machina might regenerate, Sia gathers her remains and destroys them with explosions. In the process, the town is also destroyed, and the formerly thankful mayor now tearfully begs them to leave. Sia realizes that his level increase has started to slow down. Aria suggests he train with a god, so Ristarte introduces him to the divine blade god Perseus. As the days go by, Ristarte notices that Perseus is becoming depressed and even losing weight. On the 4th day of training, she finds Perseus hiding as Sia has already surpassed him, but still refuses to let him take a break. Perseus is now so terrified that when Sia finally catches him, he throws his sword into the ocean, but Sia simply drags him away. Meanwhile, Ristarte learns from Ishtar that in response to Chaos Machina's death, the Demon Lord plans on sending the demon Death Magala and an undead army to the Sound of Samael, where there are 2 warriors Ishtar has foreseen will be their allies. Sia takes Ristarte to Samuel, where they meet Mash and Alulu, 2 dragonkin descendants. Sia reveals that Father Marth is an undead in disguise and defeats him without even drawing his sword. He then thoroughly destroys his body with explosions. In the process, he also destroys the church. Afterward, he bluntly tells Mash and Alulu that he doesn't need them. Outside the destroyed church, Sia explains to Mash and Alulu the reason why he doesn't need them. Just then, they are confronted by a group of knights who ask for help. Sia agrees under the condition that he receives payment. When Sia and Ristarte arrive in the area where the undead army is, Sia uses the Meteor Strike skill twice to wipe them all out. Alulu tells Ristarte that she has not seen Mash in 2 days. Heading to Sia's room, Ristarte learns that Sia uses the Synthesis skill to synthesize a powerful sword. Then, via a 2-way viewing mirror, Death Magala reveals to them that he has kidnapped and tortured Mash. Just as he's about to kill him, Sia uses the Dimension Blade skill to cut off Death Magala's hand through the mirror. After receiving Death Magala's physical location, they arrive there. During the fight, Death Magala summons Darkfire. A confident Death Magala taunts Sia by revealing what Darkfire's weaknesses are. Sia explains that he created different magic bracelets that allow him to use magic attributes he has not trained with. After he defeats Darkfire, he returns his attention to a stunned Death Magala and defeats him as well. Sia then makes Mash his baggage carrier, and they offer to take Sia to the Dragon's Den. But Sia wants to head to the Divine Realm first. There Sia has Mash trained with Perseus, while Ristarte has Alulu train with Hestia, the goddess of fire. Afterward, Ristarte accidentally bumps into Valkyrie, the goddess of destruction. Noticing how powerful she is, Sia tells Valkyrie to train him. Valkyrie angrily confronts him until Aria stops her. She then arranges for him to train with Adenola, the goddess of war. After 3 days of training, Mash has improved, but Alulu's training has mostly failed due to her having no affinity for flame magic. As the party is about to leave, Adenola asks Sia if she can come with him, but Sia bluntly rejects her offer, and they finally arrive at Dragon Village. They are met by Lagos, who escorts them to see Levier, the great mother of dragons. Levi teaches Mash how to transform into a dragon. When Alulu asks Levi to show her how to transform as well, Levi tells her that she's to become the mighty weapon Exation instead. Levi explains to the party about a legend that states that the Demon Lord can be defeated using Exation, which can only be forged when a female dragonkin of human appearance offers her life. When Mash protests, Levi reveals that the Demon Lord's forces control 70% of Gaia Brande. Levi then offers everyone a feast prior to conducting the sacred sword ceremony. Later that night, during the ceremony, Alulu has second thoughts and Seiya goes to her rescue. Levi reveals that she anticipated this might happen, so she laced their food with a paralytic. However, Seiya reveals that he only pretended to eat, and that's why the drug did not work on him. Seiya decides to confront Levi. When she refuses to lift Alulu's curse, Seiya fights Levi head-on. It appears that she is winning until she notices that she's about to fall into the abyss. Feigning her surrender, Levi attempts to kill Seiya, however, he manages to defeat her. Afterward, Exation appears from the pit, but after leaving the village, Seiya admits to Restarte that the sword he acquired is not Exation. They are then confronted by a group of knights. The Roseguard Imperial Knights ask the party to help them fight the Demon Lord's forces at Olga Fortress. Once they arrive in the area, Beelzebub's horde kills several knights. Afterward, the party meets up with Rosala Roseguard, and they head to Olga's fortress. Inside the castle, they hold a strategy meeting. However, Seiya feels that the best course of action is for him to head to the Divine Realm. When he calls Rosalie out for being too reckless, she angrily confronts him, and she continually gets slapped by him. In the Divine Realm, Seiya asks Restarte to introduce him to a god who can help him. She takes him to the verdant forest to meet Midas, the goddess of archery. Restarte, Mash, and Alulu run into Perseus, who tells them that Adenola is still very angry with Seiya. At Arya's house, Ariane agrees to unlock Mash and Alulu's dormant powers. Restarte then heads to Adenola's house. She runs to warn Seiya, but Adenola confronts him. He's able to calm her down to the point where she's no longer angry with him. It's revealed that Midas was watching the incident the entire time. Arya shows Restarte some of the dormant powers that Mash and Alulu have unlocked. When Restarte tells Arya about Seiya's training with Midas, a worried Arya reveals that Midas was banished because she is a nymphomaniac goddess. When Restarte and others go to the forest, they see Midas tied up to a tree. After she frees herself and lustfully attacked Seiya and Mash, however, Seiya is ultimately able to stop her. The party then heads to Olga Fortress, where they learn that Rosalie left to fight Beelzebub by herself. They see him capture Rosalie, and just as he's about to drop her, Restarte distracts him long enough for Seiya to shoot an arrow at him. Once Rosalie is rescued, Beel turns his attention to Seiya. The battle is hard as Beel has amazing speed, but he was eventually defeated. Rosalie reluctantly tells Seiya about a legendary suit of armor in a shrine near the village of Isele. When the party arrives there, they find the village in ruins. They are confronted by Kilki, one of the 4 heavenly kings, who reveals that he destroyed the armor so Seiya could not use it. Kilke admits to the party that he knows he's not powerful enough, so he's going to exchange his life to invoke the greatest of summoning magic. Once he does, the Reaper crossed to Thanatos is summoned. Restarte open a portal to Divine Realm, and when they get there, Seiya reveals that he has a plan, but they need to reach the temple roof. Valkyrie is there painting. When crossed to Thanatos destroys her piece, she gets angry and readies to fight him. She uses her ultimate skill gate of Valhalla to finally get rid of the Reaper. Despite Valkyrie's warning about the skill, Seiya is impressed enough to ask her to train him. Mash and Alulu then decide to head to Arya's house. Meanwhile, Perseus tells Restarte that Ishtar wants to see her. Ishtar tells Restarte that the last 4 of the heavenly kings is leading an army. The next day, Restarte arrives at Arya's house to check up on Mash and Alulu's training. They then head to Valkyrie's house and afterwards to Gaia Brande, where they see Wolk's Roseguard, who easily defeat Eraser Kaiser and his army. When Restarte wonders why Wolks does not fight the Demon Lord, he turns into a child. The party is stunned when they see Wolks turn into a child. Later, Rosalie tells them that her father does not have long to live. While the party is meeting with Wolks, they receive a message that the Demon Lord's forces are attacking the capital. Seiya takes Mash and Alulu with him while he has Restarte stay behind with Wolks. When Wolks shows Restarte around the cathedral, he reveals that the Demon Lord created a magical item called Chain Destruction, which is capable of destroying the real souls of gods and heroes. He also reveals that he has joined forces with the Demon Lord just as he was about to kill her. Seiya arrives. During their fight, Wokes transforms into a demon king. Wokes appears to have won the butt, then Sia uses the counterbreak skill to return the same damage back to him. Once Wokes is defeated, Sia tells Rosalie to speak to her father before he dies. 3 days later, Sia recovers and allows the party to have fun, while Restarte, Mash, and Alulu are enjoying themselves. Sia heads off on his own to fight the Demon Lord. When Restarte and the party head back to their hotel room, they notice that Saya is not there. Heading to Ishtar's house, they find a distraught Arya who escorts them to Ishtar's location. Ishtar reveals that Sia went to the Demon Lord's castle alone. She also reveals that despite his personality and demeanor, Saya actually cares about them more than he lets on. She then shows Restarte footage from 100 years ago, when Arya summoned Saya. Back then, Sia would recklessly fight enemies while unprepared. When the party fought the Demon Lord, it appeared they had killed him. However, he revealed that he had 2 lives, and as a result, he killed the hero's party, including Saya, Princess Tiana, and their unborn child. After watching the footage, Ishtar reveals to Restarte that she is the reincarnation of Princess Tiana. Despite warnings from Arya and Ishtar, Restarte insists on finding Saya and opens a portal to the Demon Lord's castle, taking Mash and Alulu with her to save their friend. Restarte, Mash, and Alulu arrive at the heart of the Demon Lord's castle. Before they can help, however, Sia unleashes the Gate of Valhalla. Due to the skill's effects, Saya's life force begins to crumble. Restarte demands the full use of her healing ability, and with her full strength, Restarte manages to heal Saya's wounds in time. But before they can celebrate, the Demon Lord again bursts through the doors. Sia stands up and calls forth a second Gate of Valhalla, finally defeating the Demon Lord once and for all. Sia then says his goodbyes to his companions and disappears with a smile after he realizes who Restarte really is. Restarte is subsequently summoned by Ishtar to be punished. She's informed that she'll be sent to save Exophoria, but without any of her divine healing powers, and if she fails, she'll be stripped of her divinity. Ishtar also reveals that the effects of the chain destruction were lifted when the second Gate of Valhalla was used. Restarte receives the note with her hero's information, and cries tears of joy when she sees Saya's name and the impossibly cautious personality written on it. And that's the end of the video. As always, if you liked what you saw, subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up. See you in the next one.